accommodating. Another month, another meeting. As we approach election day, we do have the legal voters here today. They have a small presentation for us, and then we do have the senior center that will be presenting on a couple of different, some other different programs. So again, thank you for being here. Any questions, you can always reach out to us. We're always looking for presenters. I think we still have a couple of available spots for the springtime. I will have to run out at some point because I got something to the yard. But I'll leave you guys with which may students. So without further ado, you know what, let's go around the room really quick, get everyone. Spirit Circus, President of IAC, Director of Youth Services and Recreation for the City of Glen Cove.
Hi, I'm Colleen Spinello with the Church of St. Rocco. And Carolyn Willson. I'm trying to remember who first said. Carolyn Willson, I'm buddy. And she's also on the board. Yes. Oh, I know, the museum. I'm the museum. All of the things. I'm Danielle Finesi-Spindle. I think I know everybody in here. I'm the president of the Glen Cove Education Foundation, which raises money for things that are outside school budget district, and I am also a town person. And so those are director of the town funding. I am Phyllis Graziosi, and I'm a reference librarian at the library.
Hi, I'm Judith Rivera, and I represent Here First Home Solutions.
I'm Jackie Tetchy. I'm a site manager here at the Glen Cove Senior Center.
John Jarvis, CEC Healthcare.
Gabriel Garcia, representing Local International. Corey,
Kathy Emmett, management for Island Harvest, nutrition programs, and we actually just a little bit of news. We just worked with Christine Rice to set up the supplementary food distribution at Notch for seniors, so that should be starting in about a month or so. And I will be leading Island Harvest, so really nice to work with you all, and I'll make sure that somebody comes and represents us. Oh, good luck. Thank you for this. Yeah.
I'm Janae.
Everything.
Treasurer, and I represent the Waterfront Center and the Chamber. And we actually do have people on our Zoom today. Cliff, you want to say hi, Cliff?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm Cliff Crowder from the Glen Cove Chamber. I know most of you, but it's nice to be here today. Meet some new. Thank you.
And who else is on anybody else on the Zoom?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's,
Can't see you, hear you.
I know, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. It's Camille from the CDA.
And we have two more here.
Camille, we can see you. It's just the camera seems to be pointed up a little bit too much. Perfect. That's good.
Okay, hi.
That's much better.
Bye.
And I'm Helen Kotzky, and I guess I'll start our presentation.
After she.
Oh, sure.
You're late.
Sure.
Kathy
What do I know?
Sanchez, Community Liaison for Glen Cove Center and Emerge. All right, so this was the perfect meeting for the League of Women Voters to present, because we have so much going on. And I asked Antonia, who's been a member of the league in this area for much longer than me. And then we have Carolyn Willson, who was one of the early members, who's going to give us a little history later. And I brought all these informational signs that you can take a look at later, just so you catch up. There's also QR codes, and everybody can take one of these packets that has a brochure called First Vote. It has lots of really useful information if you're trying to advise someone about voting for the first time, and we have that in English and Spanish. And then we have a voter guide in English and Spanish. And then I put in these signs that was made when we had a small grant where the league worked with La Fuerza Unida 2 years ago. And I don't know if you knew Christina Bonilla, who worked there. And then there's another person who designed the flyer and the QR code that goes to our website, which I'm going to show you. So you can take that, and then Antonia brought us the Nassau County early voting information. And it's in English and Spanish. So, there's a lot of information that people need these days in order to just vote. Lots of people are registered, but just knowing when and how and where you're gonna vote is a decision. But it used to be pretty easy, you just knew exactly what day and where. This is also some information on proposal 1 in the New York Equal Rights Amendment. So there's some information on that. And you have to flip your ballot this year in order to access that, in order to vote on it. Before I forget, there's a candidates forum coming up on Tuesday, October 22nd, and we'll be having, for us in this district, you can hear Kaiserman and Martins answer questions in a candidates forum at the JCC. And the other, our league encompasses a lot of the North Shore. So the other people talking that night will be Norbert and Salidi. But you know, we work with people on the whole couple of peninsulas. So I joined the league 6 years ago when I retired from teaching. And I just wanted to get involved and do something. My mom had been a League of Women voter when I was growing up in South Carolina. And so she was active in voter registration and information. And I actually got to go along with her some of the time. So I guess that left an impression. And so when it came time to having the time to do some social services, I checked out the league. I think one of the best things they do right now that's very helpful is they have a website called 411vote411.org. And you can just use this QR code or just go online and it'll lead you to a website where you enter your address. I put in mine. And then you click submit and let's see what happens. I'm not an expert at
want me to do it?
the computer yet. Let's do submit and see what we get. Okay, so upcoming elections. And if you scroll down, they ask you if you want to become a poll worker, by the way, they need poll workers, anyone's interested. Okay, so it gives you your elections, you can view the details. Let's see, should we click, let's click on view details just to see what they give us. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to read it there. Okay, it's this, it just tells us when you have to have your registration by October 26th. In person, you can start voting on the 26th, not online. There's so many ways to vote now. Okay, so now let's go to know your ballot. Okay, so first we have to select English and then there'll be a submit button just below that. Okay, so save and view races. So now they give you a list of all the things that we're going to vote on. And then you can view each race and it'll show you who the candidates are. And you can click on a button. Let's do Kaiserman and Martin, Senate District 7, that's our district. And so here's Kim Kaiserman and Jack Martins. And then you can click view answers under her name. And let's see what happens. I don't know if you say my choice is only if you decide you want to vote for her. And that's one very important thing about the league. It's nonpartisan. We do not support any particular party or candidates. We want to just give people information, how to vote, get people registered and get people participating so that the representation is so much greater. The more people we have voting, the more real things should be, the more helpful it should be. So then Kaiserman's campaign looks like they listed her websites and such, but I think that she might have answered some questions that the league gave. So the league gives the same questions to everybody, And the candidate can answer these questions for people to read. Now, at this point, not every candidate is filled in the way this Kim Kaiserman did. It's still a couple of weeks out, 3 or 4 weeks out, but what we're noticing is it's very hard to get some candidates to participate. So I think one of the things, people just are more and more going to the candidate websites. But this is a way to get people informed. And then, let's see, another thing you can do, let's see, we go back. We could, how about we do the comparison? Oh, no, that's all right, okay. Should we do the comparison? Yeah, so if we go to Jack Martin, I don't think he's submitted much yet. So probably somebody from the league is going to be calling him and saying, would you like to make sure you send us your information so that we can put it on this website? And this website is national. So there are 700 leagues all around the United States who are trying to get their information. And it's very useful if you have a family member in another state and you want to help them get an absentee ballot, you can do it through this. And I had a brother who is ill and who was in St. Louis, and I got absentee ballots for him and his wife by just knowing his address in St. Louis, putting in his information for him, and then that way they were able to vote. Okay, so you can print your voting selections, but let's see, let's not worry about that right now. Maybe if we scroll down, it links to the Board of Education, Board of Elections at some place. Okay, right here, New York State poll locator. And that's when you click on that little blue. Yeah. Registered voter search. Okay, that's something different. And I don't know why. It's blue right there. Yeah. Okay, so then you'd have to fill in your name here, and then you're on the New York State Board of Elections, and they are amazing. They have everything you need. You can go on, and you can even, they'll give you all the races and print it out, see what your ballot looks like. So that's so helpful to see your ballot. Sometimes the newspapers and other organizations will have a chance to see the ballot sometime before the election, but this gives you a heads up. So that's called vote411.org. And let's see, what else should we talk about?
I think it's important that everybody knows that early voting starts October 26th.
Yeah.
Total.
Right, October 26th, you can start voting early in person. You may also have gotten in the mail, everybody in my family got a mailing that allowed, if you wanted to apply for a mail-in ballot. So that it does get confusing because there's absentee ballots for specific reasons that you can't vote. And then, on the election day, and then there's the early mail-in ballot. So a lot of different ways to vote now. I think it would be fun. Oh, I just wanted to mention the candidates forum that's coming up, but it is one of the more important things that the league does. We've come to Glen Cove now, 2 years, 2 different mayoral council elections, and some of you participated. We were at the high school, and it gave people in the community a chance to hear the candidates answer questions that the community put on the index cards. So we do this thing where we collect everybody's questions, and then we just make sure we don't ask the same questions over and over, and make sure the questions are appropriate, and then everyone gets to listen. And then that's recorded, and now we have a YouTube channel that you can go on and watch these things going back as far as you want. So that, I think, is just a very important thing, and that's why we need to be nonpartisan so that our candidates feel comfortable coming, feel supported, and everybody gets to hear their points of view. Now Carolyn knows Rhoda Kleiner, who started the IAC years and years ago, and also was one of the early League of Women voter people here in Glen Cove. There was a League of Women Voters chapter in Glen Cove that started, we think, around 1960. And do you want to come up and tell everybody what you learned? Carolyn has been talking to Rhoda, who is now 95, 96 years old.
I had dinner with her the other night. She lives in the harbor side in Fort Washington. And sadly, yesterday I opened Newsday and
Yeah,
the whole thing is falling apart.
oh boy.
She's not sure where she's gonna go, which is very distressing, but not anything to do with it. Yeah, so real quick bio. I grew up in Manhasset. In 1967. My husband completed 5 years in the Air Force, he was a pilot, and so we came back to Long Island. He immediately left for Miami because he got a job with Eastern Airlines. So we had to go down there and train. And that left me here with my mother and 3 children under 4, which was pretty stupid, but anyway. So I drove around and I finally found a rental in Glen Cove. And the only knowledge I had of Glen Cove was we used to come here. I was a cheerleader in Manhasset. We used to come here to play basketball and football. And you had the best movie theater on the North Shore, which is where the Regency is now. And it got all the first run movies and everything. So that was my knowledge of Glen Cove. So let's see. So I was in the house with the 3 babies and getting very bored after a few weeks. And I thought, I gotta get out of here. So I was reading the local paper and I read about a meeting of the League of Women Voters. And they didn't really know what it was, but it sounded like a place I could go. She came over to babysit at Rhoda's house on Highland Road. And so I went. And I loved it. I mean, the people were so nice and it was so interesting after. So I joined and I remained a member till we. I'm not sure.
They have to dissolve and combine
Yeah,
with
with
other
other
North Shore
places.
communities,
Yeah.
because, the trend was just that more and more women, I think, were not only be raising a family, but
They
going
were
to work
working,
full time. And the league
Yeah.
takes a certain amount of energy and
Yes,
time to
yes.
get involved.
So anyway, because of this, I got involved a lot in local government in Glen Cove. And at one point, one of the league members said to me, I'm gonna take a course, I forgot what it was, it's something to do with the law at Adelphi, just, on my own, do you wanna come? And I said, sure. So I took this course with her. And that got me interested in government and law and whatever. And so finally, one day, and I also knew Jim Swazi personally. So one day I just, out of the blue, thought, I'm just gonna see if maybe I got a degree in paralegal. I got a paralegal degree. I went in to see him and I said, I was wondering if your attorney could use any help. And he just sat there looking at me like, I don't think so. So I started to walk out and he said, wait a minute, I could use help. And I said, okay, what do you need? And he said, you could be my assistant. Okay, I don't know what you do, but okay. Well, as it turned out, and this I didn't find out till like 6 months later. He said he was looking for an assistant and he told the person who was head of the Democratic Party that he wanted an assistant. But he wanted a Republican because he wanted it to look balanced. And this guy said, no way, I'll find somebody for you. And he was going to pick the person. And Jimmy didn't like that. So my timing was amazing because I walked in there and he said, okay, you can be my assistant. And then as I'm walking out the door, I said, that I'm a Republican. He said, perfect. And he hired me, and that's how I got started in Glen Cove politics. Anyway, let's see. I was his deputy mayor, then I was Mary Ann Holzkamp's, and then I was Tom Swazi's. So I've gone along with the history of Glen Cove for a while. Then I was in a lot of other groups, you know, like I guess all of you are in different school things and whatever. And at one point, we did something called Search for Community Solutions. And it was this booklet we put out. And, you know, if anybody wants to look at it closely, but it's by the League of Women Voters, and it's all about different workshops and things we've done, and, you know, and we put this out for the community. So it was a very active league. for the
Just
time.
going to that meeting is what led to all these
this.
things.
That's awesome.
And then how many years later, from the, what was that, the 70s, like 50 years later,
Yeah. So
I had dinner with Rhoda the other night, and she's now 96.
Wow.
And we still talk about the league, and we still talk about the people and the issues, and nothing
And
changes.
so Rhoda was a president of the league, and then after her, you were one of the
No, I think
presidents?
after her was Jean Hirschberg. I mean, you
Jean
probably don't know any of
Hirschberg.
these names. I just told you so quick. This is Tony Galuccio, who was a councilman, and Jean and Mayor DePaula at a league meeting.
So I'll put these along here
Okay.
so people can look at them
Okay,
after we're done.
and let's see. Well, this was a panel the League of Women Voters had of various Mayor DePaula's in it, and just, can't remember who the other people are. It was at the high school.
So kind of like, it's not a candidates forum, but an informational
Information
forum.
Yeah. And I don't know if anybody remembers Lois Demkowski. She used to be our city clerk for years. And she's with Jean and Isabel Rosenberg, and these were all lead people in different settings. Okay, this is Jean with Ralph Marino, Joe.
I can't help you.
This was our state senator, this was our state assemblyman, Mayor DePaula, and I don't remember who it is, sorry. But she was the president at the time.
What a photo.
Yeah, yeah,
We're all staring at her.
yeah. And then this one, you probably can't really see it, but this one was just amazing. This was in the home of Mrs. Penoyer. I don't know if you all know who Mrs. Penoyer is, no. Okay, well, the Penoyers were one of the wealthiest families in Glen Cove or anywhere around. They lived on Duck Pond Road on a beautiful estate. And Mrs. Penoyer got interested in the league. And she didn't want to join, you know, to be a member really, but she offered to host a meeting at her house. And this is the meeting there with Joe Riley, who was then our assemblyman speaking. And it was quite amazing. It was a beautiful home. And very nice of her to do that. So those are the main ones. Okay, so anyway, let's see if I had anything else I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, this. At one point, we put this out. It's called Report of the League of Women Voters Search for Community Solutions. And it was a conference that we held. And it was February 7th, 1970. Which seems like a million years ago. But it just tells you all the different workshops and who ran them and what each one, the summary of each workshop.
It's so interesting to see what people were focused on
Yeah,
then
back
and
then,
how it compares to now.
right,
That's a very
Right.
good point.
like we had housing,
All the same
had-
issues.
yeah,
Same way.
I don't know, building workshop, I'm not sure. Oh, to examine the case for and against homogeneous and heterogeneous class grouping from the point of view of the academically able, the slow learner, and the disadvantaged. Wow. This one was vocational education workshop, recreation workshop, employment workshop. That's one. So that was in 1970 at the high school. And that's what we did there. So anyway, eventually it kind of, you know, faded away. But because of all this and all the activity that was going on, as I said, I just got involved as a paralegal, and then I got involved with Jimmy Swazi. And then once you're into that, you kind of stay with it. So after Jimmy, I worked for, I remember now, I guess it was Tom. And then Mary Ann. I think there was somebody in between there, but I can't remember. So that's how I got into City Hall. Anyway, that's how it happened. So thank you to the league. It's a very nice career.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
It's great. I mean, and in these organizations, it's how you make connections.
Right.
And going way back, I was involved in the coalition for Glen Cove that was run by Don Scarl. And he said he would go to the IAC meetings here, and I couldn't at the time because I was working, but he would say, "There's such a great organization, you should go," you know, once he wasn't as involved in the group anymore. And so I knew it was in the back of my mind, it was there, and somehow I ended up coming to the meetings and the league joined. And it, you know, it really is a great model for community members, different service organizations connecting with each other. So,
I'm sorry if it isn't still within the community,
yeah,
but
right. Well, we include Seacliff, Glenhead, Glenwood Landing, Roslyn Heights, East Williston. And it's, yeah, someone is coming from Oyster Bay to our meetings now. But it's called technically Port Washington-Manhasset chapter. And I don't emphasize that because it is expanding.
Yeah.
We have more and more people joining for different areas. And maybe at some point they can rename it to North Shore.
Right.
well, that would make sense.
Yeah, there's a Central Nassau League and an East Central Nassau League, and there's some Suffolk leagues. So, yeah, so we'll see what happens. But, okay, so I think there's other presentations.
Okay.
So.
That was wonderful. Thank you, guys.
You want to say anything else about the league or?
Well, the only thing I find interesting is that the League of Women Voters was founded in 1919, and it was the natural progression of the National Women's Suffrage Associations. And so once women got the vote in 1919, it was established, it just moved over from the suffrage movement to the League of Women Voters. And it was led by Carrie Chapman Catt, who was the head of the National Women's Suffrage Association. So I think it's a pretty clear progression and a logical progression from the suffrage movement to the League of Women Voters.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, it's not for women only.
Oh, there you go.
And then to come to our meetings. Yeah, I know it's a little scary with that, women voters, but. We also want men.
Okay, so Spiro did have to step out, but Jackie from our senior center is going to do a
Hi,
quick
everyone.
synopsis.
I know
all the
most
great
of you,
things.
but I'm Jackie, one of the site manager here at the Glen Cove Senior Center. I'm gonna bounce off of Carolyn's story of how she ended up where she was. I had another job totally 16 years ago. Reduced me to 4 days a week, and I needed the 1 day a week job. Carolyn Willson was so happy, you know, I'm privileged to have worked with Carol Willson. I love Carol Willson, but she hired me to work that 1 day a week. And within a couple of months of working here, I said, I need to be here. This place is so warm and loving that I need to be here, and she made it happen. I became the assistant site manager, and now I'm the site manager. This is my 16th year, I'm finishing my 16th year here. And I just want you all to know, this is a wonderful place. It's not just the senior center. I know when people think of the senior center, they think, oh my God, they're playing bingo. They're sitting here having lunch and they're going home. Well, back in the 70s when this was started, it was a congregate meal program. A lot of the people came on the bus, they came, they ate lunch, and then they went home. We are so much more than that now. We are expanding and growing. We have over 2,000 members that belong here, that come here, that not only come for lunch, but if you, on your way out, if you want to take one of these, you'll see all the activities we have. I'm not going to go over all of them. Our activities coordinator is going to be here and go over them all with you, but we have trips, we have people come in and speak, we have entertainment, we have pool, cornhole, spelling bees, karaoke, trivia, you name it, they do it here. So it's not quote unquote an old age place to be in. We have people that are trying to register here at 50 is in their 50s because they want to do things that we do here. We do also serve lunch here every day. It's 3 different choices of meals. We have busing between Glen Cove, Glenhead, Seacliff, Glenwood Landing seniors from their homes to here and from here back to their homes. We take them grocery shopping twice a week. We just did a trip to the wineries and the outlets and the farm stands last week. They did a trip yesterday to Oyster Bay, to the Railroad Museum, to Raynham Hall, to the Homestead Restaurant. So they do so many more things here than just a senior center, just your average senior center. They do play bingo though. 4 days a week, they do have to play bingo because they love their bingo, but there are so many other things to do. We also produce this newsletter once a month. It has the menu on the back. It has our calendar for the senior center up here as well. If any of you want to give me your email addresses, I'll be more than happy to email you the calendars. It is usually on our website. We have a new web person working on it. So if you don't see it, just let me know if you want to give me your addresses and I'll make sure that I get you the calendars every month because I know there's a little glitch in sending it to everyone at one point. But we also have, this is an independent program up here, so you have to be able to maneuver around on your own. It's kind of like you come in and you sign into the activity when you come here. So there's no commitment for any of our exercise classes. We offer about 15 of them here. There's no commitment like a gym. So if you want to come to one and you don't like it, you don't have to stay. You can try a different one. There's some paperwork involved, but it's not a lot. But it has to be, and you have to be independent. If you can't maneuver around and you're not dependent, we have an adult day program. And fortunately, I have our adult day director here, Amanda Freeman, who is going to tell you a little bit about the adult day program. Does anyone have any questions for me about the program? If you do, you can just feel free to give me a call at any time. Again, I'm Jackie, I'm the site manager here. You can just give me a call and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I think my recollection is to be wrong. The seniors group started in one of the temples.
I don't know the history.
I'm
I'll-
sure because Jimmy's Closet, they've got this building for them and that's why it's.
Yes, that I remember. That part, I mean, I don't remember it, but I remember that was the story. But I know it was in the 70s that it did
Yes.
come about
Yes.
as just a meal program.
Right.
And then it evolved.
And then-
And it just keeps evolving every year with the help of the community, with the help of all the agencies that help support the programming here. We couldn't do a lot of the things that we do without the support of the community, and we appreciate it so much. And just remember, next Saturday, the 19th is our senior day here, so 11 to 2, you're all welcome to come and see what's, we're gonna have a DJ, we're gonna have a photo booth, we're gonna have food, and you can see all the community come together, everyone is welcome, we're gonna honor our centenarians. Okay.
Do you have to be a Glen Cove resident to be able to come?
No, you can be a Nassau County resident, just to come to the senior center. You just have to fill out an application. The only restriction we have is on our busing, which is Glen Cove, Glenhead, Seacliff, Glenwood Landing. But anyone in Nassau County can join. We have people as far away as Hempstead and Rockville Center that come here just because they like our programming better than the programs that go on there, or they want to go on a trip that's here, and everyone is welcome to come.
And what's the age group?
It's 60 and above. We have people that have literally started at 60 years old, and we do have one that goes up to 102 that's very active in our senior center right now. So our average age is about 71, 72. If you average in the factor, but we do have, like I said, a lot more younger seniors coming in. But the ones that have been coming here, like we have a crocheting group going on now. There's so many different things going on here.
It's wonderful.
Just a wonderful program. It's a wonderful place to be. If it became a very important part of my life, because not to get on a personal note, but because I've lost my parents, my brother, my nephew, my grandparents, my aunt, my cousin. I've lost a lot of people in my family, so coming here is my family. Everyone that comes here as a member is like a grandparent to me or a parent to me, and staff here we're all one big family. We all love each other, we work very well together, and we all, you know, we do everything for each other, so otherwise I wouldn't be working here. I've told my kids many times, you have to like where you work, you have to love what you do, because you spend a lot of your time here, and that's why I wanted to be here, that's why I'm here, and I'm available anytime anybody wants to speak. Okay, Amanda, would you like to come up and read?
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, that is a hard act to follow. I don't speak as well as Jackie, I'm sorry. My name is Amanda Freeman. I am the director of the Adult Lead Program, which is on the lower level of the Senior Center. Glen Cove offers such a great continuum of care. This is a service that not all communities have. I wish my own community had this. The Adult Lead Program is a structured social aid program. So when people start to use some of the independent living skills that they need to be in this program upstairs, they then become a better candidate for downstairs, and it becomes a much more beneficial environment for them. The Adult Lead Program offers staffing assistance that helps anyone who needs additional assistance if they have cognitive declines, physical, medical, emotional frailty, social isolation. We are tailored to meet the needs of people with various forms of dementia and Alzheimer's. However, that's not the only population down, in the program. So it is a very diverse group. It is very welcoming and warm. Really a group that enjoys meeting with people. But although it's such a benefit for the senior attending, it's also the primary function of the service is it is a caregiver runs the program. So if you or anyone you know has ever been a caregiver to a loved one with some type of cognitive decline, memory impairment, just an older relative, it is a very a job that takes up a lot of time and energy, and a respite program really is necessary for anyone in that position. So with that being said, we have such a diverse so many activities. Everything you have up here, we have downstairs. We have modified exercise almost every day of the week. Different instructors come in. We have museum presentations, art therapy, music therapy, pet therapy. We have so many different crafts. And if someone has a hobby, we always try to bring that in so that we can incorporate that into the programming and make sure that everyone has something they enjoy doing in the program. The busing situation is the same. We have transportation for the people in the immediate proximity, but there's other ways that people can, outside services that might assist them to get here if they are outside of that catchment area. So like I said, it is just a very necessary service for a family, family members to take care of a loved one. If you know anyone who's in that position that this might be beneficial, please reach out to me. Again, my name is Amanda, and thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay. So at this point, I guess we can go around the room and if anybody has any extra things that they'd like to share. Oh, wait, before I do, at the last board meeting, the last meeting, we were discussing that we were in need of a new board member, and Spiro left, and I was like, Spiro, but he wanted me to share. Jill has agreed to join us on the board. So welcome, Jill. I don't know if you want to say just a little bit about you and what you do.
Sure, yeah, so I'm the director of the bid, and before that I was editor of Record Pilot and the Herald, and I just love being involved in the community, and I'm honored to be part of it.
So she's gonna get us in the paper. No.
Well, that's what you want.
No.
Well, I know there used to be, I mean, I don't know who did it, but I remember when I worked in the paper.
Yeah.
Somebody would always Like,
We had
get
somebody in the
little
past that did that,
pictures,
yeah.
Yeah, and then send it. Did you do that too?
Well, I did the ad for the.
Oh,
for
right.
this
Yeah.
policy.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it would be
Once
good
a
to
month.
get, I mean.
it would be good to get
At
definitely.
least now,
Yeah.
little highlights of what this organization is all about.
Yeah. I think that'd be a great idea. So we'll do a group vote. Anybody else have anything that they'd like to share about like your agency or? We heard a lot of great things about history and I think that at every meeting, I'd love to hear another story like that. I think that was a very like impactful thing about kind of what we are, how we started, you know? Like, I think that it's funny when we talk about what's in that folder and how issues repeat itself, because if we don't learn from our history, we're gonna repeat the same things over and over. So it's always good to hear different perspectives and different thoughts. So thank you, Carolyn, and thank you, ladies, for sharing. This was a really great presentation. I think you guys did a wonderful job. I learned a lot personally, and I think that it's something that I will join because I really need to understand a little bit more as well. So thank you very much for that presentation. Anybody else like to share?
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
A voting question. You mentioned that the ballot needs to be flipped to vote on that proposition. What if you don't vote on it? Does it disqualify your ballot?
Oh, no.
No? Okay. Yeah, because I don't know how many people realize that they have to flip it over.
Yeah,
to,
I think they'll be reminding people, hopefully, at the polls, but
The poll workers should be here.
yeah.
And I want to share, I don't know if you guys were at the drumming session we did at Merge back in the spring, I think.
We'll have to do it
We are
again.
having a drumming session at Glen Cove Center on the 22nd at 10 o'clock. It's open to the community. So if you want to just come to see what it is, it would be, you should come. It's free. It's probably going to be about half an hour to 45 minutes. And it's cardio drumming, it's good for the heart rate, and you sit and you do all of this exercise, you don't realize how well your body is benefiting from a seated drumming session. But it's also good for if you work with any seniors, if you know of any seniors that could benefit from this, it's a great form of exercise for them. We take it out into the community, we go to the, we brought it here, we've taken it to the Life Enrichment Center in Oyster Bay. And we take it to our individual senior groups that we work with, and it's really a well-loved program. So just out of curiosity, come on the 22nd to Glen Cove Center, not Emerge. It's gonna be at Glen Cove Center, which is 6 Medical Plaza, 10 a.m. And just kind of come and see what it's about. And have fun too.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And I think our whole meeting, we didn't even have a meeting because we got so wrapped up.
First, and then we dropped. And then we're all like. But we're obviously gonna have to do that again next time we have your. They feed us and then make us work out, so it's like a really good combination, I like it.
It's fun. It's fun.
Book out a couple of hours. Thank you so much for the presentation on the senior center. I think this senior center is impressive beyond belief. I think the amount of things that are produced from here that you guys do in a small space. I mean, I know it's not huge, but it's not tiny, but it is pretty small, compacto, to be able to do as much as you do.
We're actually
Really wonderful.
have downstairs, part of downstairs
Yeah.
also has activities and exercise classes and pool table and an air hockey table and.
And how-
like cars.
When did that start?
Well, to be honest with you, when COVID happened, we were able to, we were delivering meals to people during COVID. So we never really shut down here, we just flipped the script and did something different. But we had some time, and because we got flooded out during the hurricane, so that we had some time to renovate. So it's a lot different than
Yeah,
it did
that's great.
beforehand. So we were able to renovate, we were able to create some space with some vision that everyone put together. When Christine came on board, you all know, Christine came on board and then COVID happened. So she really hasn't had a chance to transition or understand what happened before COVID. She's in the after COVID world and she's done a great job.
Yes.
But we just expanded the programming and we're able to just do all that because of that. While we were delivering meals to the seniors that couldn't get out, we were renovating inside here. And it's amazing the transformation that's happened since I've been here. As far as the building is concerned and how much we've grown. And again, I said, it's a lot to do with community support. But we do reach out to all the agencies in the community for support. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to provide a lot of these programs. So it is just a wonderful program. And working with Amanda, just one more thing. The staff that works here, we have to be aware when we see seniors decline. We have to be trained in our own minds to see that there is a decline and that they can't function on their own. And those difficult conversations have to happen with the family from the staff here to tell them that maybe they need a respite program. Not always welcome by the family, but we always have to do what's best for the people that come here. So we're all trained, even if we're not all hands-on all the time, we're all trained to see that and to recognize it and to try to do the best that we can for the people that come here. Just anybody that has family that comes here, just know that that's what we do. And we try our best to do what we can to make sure that the person's getting the most out of everything that we have to offer here. Our services, adult, whatever it is.
And I think that during COVID, you guys flipped the switch so quickly that your programming went right online. And it was able to, you called people, you interacted, you made sure they were fed. Like I heard all about it and I think you guys did an amazing job.
That was run by Zoom, I think Lori was
Yeah.
running it for the seniors.
They did a bingo night, and even
bingo
online there. I remember all of it.
Virtual
I was pretty impressed.
exercise classes.
I was really impressed. It was really quick and, I mean, super engaging and supportive to the community, I know.
It was a help to the community, it helps the staff, because it gave us,
Yeah.
purpose too, because the interaction with the students is very important, and delivering the meals to them, some of them had no communication or no
Yeah.
family members. And we go there and they, trying to grab you, here we are with our masks and our gloves on, and they wanted to just touch, but they wanted that interaction.
Yeah.
So it was really, really important to keep it with them, especially the more isolated people, so it was just,
Amazing.
it taught us a lot.
Yeah.
too.
I think it taught everybody during that time a lot. Judith, there's some-
Yeah, I was just going to say, this place is so special in this role of mine, Catholic, for yours as well. We go out, we see other senior centers, no one touches the skin. No,
that's amazing.
it's really truly amazing, and how much also, what to your point about the community being involved and the resources that you actively, recruit and get. No, nowhere else do I see this. In fact, what I'm seeing are centers who are being pushed out, who need funding and, who are losing spaces. It's
Drinking.
shrinking.
Yeah.
So this is an extraordinary resource.
But we are also fortunate that we have the building. The city of Glen Cove has provided us with this building, because not every senior center that the county sponsors, because we don't county and city funded. And not every county senior center has their own building, has the resources, like you said, or has the capacity to do what we do. So it's tough. I know Oyster Bay has a big center as well. So,
It's a pretty robust program.
it is. So I think it's worth saying Glen Cove. When I go to site management meetings, all I hear is, oh no, Glen Cove and Oyster Bay.
Huh?
Yeah.
So we're all in a good area,
Yeah.
to what you're saying. Excellent. I'm happy to hear that.
And that's why we have so many people from outside of Nashville coming here, because
Exactly.
there's some senior centers, you say
Yeah.
that, one close to you, and they're like, no.
No, that's good.
And the ones in Port Washington are having a really
Yes.
difficult time.
I know. And I feel, that's why we welcome everyone. Is there a fee to join? No, there's no fee to join. No, there's a minimal fee for, voluntary. Everything's voluntary. Voluntary contribution to lunch, for the bus, for some exercise class. For most of our programming, it's free. We have virtual, tours of different countries. They do Brazil, they do Barcelona, they've done Italy, they've done Ireland. We do those virtually in here still. So, there's so many things. Anyway, I could talk for
Yes. I just want to tell you, Lori, who used to work here, sends her love
Oh, thank
to
you.
all of you. And she moved to Maine and she has set up, I think she's up to 15 Tai Chi classes.
Yes.
That she's doing around her area. Thanks for
Well,
learning.
I tried here for a little while before she
Yeah.
left. I know they missed her tremendously.
Yeah, yeah. She's been- Yeah.
All right, anything else anybody wants to share?
Just come up and look at the
Yeah.
pictures and take a packet of, I've got I don't know if I mentioned a voter registration form in Spanish and English too, in case you want to just have one around and get somebody shows up and needs their address, you have to refill it in if you change your address. So you might need one.
All right, so we'll see everybody in a month.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.